Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently working towards getting our war goal on Turkey, and once we get that, things will, I think, begin to move a little bit more quickly, I hope. We've been kind of tiptoeing around the United States, and that will eventually end. Of course, the UK, I fully believe, is going to go fascist in November, and when that happens, we're hoping that the Allies will do a little bit of collapsing. Now we have a couple of infantry divisions here. We're going to just toss them into this army here. We need a grand total of 9 more divisions for that. I do expect that there will be more than 2. Really? Only 2? Only 2? Unless I accidentally had more than 2 selected and just didn't notice. All 4 of these should have just finished up. So, maybe that's true. Maybe I'm just blind. It's hard to say. So, let's go ahead and do a region-wide industrial integration, I think. Western Aragon? Okay, that's fine. We can go ahead and queue that one up. Right like so. Control click to put it at the beginning, and there we go. Fantastic. So we're working on a bunch of construction over here. We're working on a whole lot of anti-air right now. That's definitely something that is in progress, although we're close to done with our anti-air constructions. Now that I look at it, our forts are a lot further away. It's radar that we're going to be doing next, though, so that'll be fine, and we'll just get those queued up soon-ish. Yeah, you can see here, we're short on a lot of our radar, for sure. And we can't actually really see... Oh, yeah, these over here would need to be queued up. Let's get those all queued up as top priority. There we go. Fantastic. So we'll get those going, and these civilian factories will finish up as well. We have already taken over Korea, and that is fantastic. We have our compliance coming up over here nicely as well. So how are we actually doing on our steel? We need more steel, there's no doubt about it. I feel like things are getting better, though, on the steel front. We're actually at the point where if we didn't export steel, we would be close. Very close indeed. We can still work on developing the Gawar oil fields, which we are doing. I think we're reasonably okay as far as fuel goes at this time. So that'll be absolutely fantastic. So these guys remained non-aligned, and that's very good for us. We're going to have a war goal done in under 200 days, so about 6 months here. Around 1968, we're going to be ready to invade Turkey, and that will, of course, yield us quite a lot of steel. That'll yield us over 100 steel. So that is a good thing for us. We're very interested in that. Now, when we actually are going to fight the US, we're probably going to want to ramp up our military production first. We're working on our civilian production right now, but we'll probably want to ramp all of these up a little bit. That said, we've been stockpiling pretty well. So we'll have to think about it. Now, we're mostly short on steel, but we are short a little bit on chromium. We could trade for those. That is an option that we have right now. And actually, have we finished this off? Yes, we have. Perfect. If the UK fails to go fascist, then we may try to trigger a civil war in the UK. We'll see. We are indeed questioning the motives of Turkey. And of course, we've got the North Sea Empire up here that we're guaranteeing. And that will be fine. We can't invite them to the faction, although we'll check when we declare on Turkey, but I think they won't join. That's my theory, anyway. So, looking at the actual faction setup here, there's Republican Italy over here that I would actually love to take over. There's still a free, or rather a supervised state of the United States. So I think that the US would defend them. I'm reasonably certain about that. Is Northern Corsica independent? Or Fraternal Corsica, I guess. Well, isn't this interesting? I didn't realize these guys existed. We're going to guarantee them right now. We're going to guarantee them. We're going to improve relations with them. That's all we're going to do for right now. Actually, I think we're already maxed, aren't we? No, we're at 45. So we can't invite them in for the same reason that we can't invite in the North Sea Empire, but we are absolutely going to guarantee them. Any others around? There might be some other fascist nations around to do things like that with. These guys are communist. These guys are communist. And these guys might be as well. They're democratic, technically. Turkmenistan is democratic. The Uzbeks over here are communist. Kazakhstan is democratic. Okay. And then there's, of course, the state of Japan. They're very solidly democratic, and they are still a supervised state of the US. Although, they might be able to become free relatively soon. So that's interesting. The Philippines are also a supervised state of the US. Republic of Vietnam is independent. Do they have any resources over here? Yeah, but we're not too interested in their resources. The Republic of Laos is democratic, and Siam is non-aligned, and they don't really have any resources that we're super interested in either. So if we were to invade those, we would just simply puppet them. And then there's the Republic of Cambodia as well. Again, we would simply puppet them. Okay. So that would be fine. As far as Turkey goes, we're going to be taking certain locations from them. In fact, we're going to be taking these states over here for sure. And then we're going to take probably these states as well. And then puppet the rest. Would be the idea for Turkey. So that'll be fine. That'll get us a good chunk of steel there. Now, Italy, what do you have for resources? Not a ton of steel, but they have enough that it would make me interested in invading them. For sure. At some point, we're going to need to invade the US, but they're just banking that manpower right now. And they have a lot of deployed army manpower as well. That's certainly a little bit spooky. So we'll keep that one in mind. We can infiltrate the civilian administration in England, but what we would really be interested in would be orchestrating a coup. Now that would require 70 in terms of our spy network here. We're not growing right now, I think, because we're at 35. 100 days. Is this going down? No. Okay. So why are we capped here is the question. Do we need to have an additional spy growing here? Perhaps. We could actually do something like this. It drops it down allegedly to 56 days. Yeah, that's ticking again. Okay. So there we go. That's wonderful. Let's check in on the Argentine Republic. Okay. They might actually go fascist. The fascists do have a plurality at this point, although they do not have a majority. We'll keep an eye on that, and these guys here, the Republic of Korea, is actually giving us an infantry division. We'll pop them into this garrison force. Wonderful. Only need 8 more there. And we have a lot of these units that are getting ready to go. We're recruiting 24 garrison units at a time right now, which is absurd. Utterly absurd. But we're doing okay. We've got a lot of free manpower for now, and it's going down. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about that one. Why do we only have one factory making Jet Fighter 2, Jet Tactical Bomber 2, Jet Strategic Bomber 1, and Jet Fighter 2 Mark 1? I don't think we need this line. Okay, there we go. 205 out of 216, so we still need to drop 11 military factories. That's more than we've got here, but we're going to keep an eye on that. And we're going to keep working on these. Once we drop to 205 out of 205, then we'll cancel any remaining ones, I think is the way we're going to do that. Or just let this go and get the rest back up via region-wide industrial integration. That's another option. These guys here, they can hop into this army. Fantastic. There should be a few more as well. Yes, there are. So we now only require 3 additional units in this army. Wonderful. And we'll have those very, very shortly here. Here in about 2 days, in fact. So that's great. We do get a manpower bump tick there. Excellent. And yeah, we are at this point extremely close to being done with our anti-air. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just moving. I'm going to keep ticking forward during this time because I do want to attack Turkey this episode ideally. But I'm just going to move all of these on down. This is not moving quickly. This is moving exceptionally slowly. Would it move faster if we unpause? It's faster. It's not fast, but it's faster. Okay, this is not ideal, I think. But these are a low priority. There's a lot of these. You know what? I'm just going to do it this way. We're going to scroll down. These are our land forts. And we are going to continue going through here until we see radar stations. Radar stations are, I think, our next priority. And now we're starting... Oops, there we go. We're going to have to go to the bottom of this. Now that we're starting to see some radar stations, or rather, now that we're building other things, we should be working on radar stations as our next priority, I believe. There will be a few more beyond these. And these will not be the highest priority. We're going to have to put the other things above them. But I just want to get these fished out of all of the forts. We don't need to be constructing the forts at this exact moment. I would rather have air defenses than land defenses right now. So we're going to get these radar stations done as well. And we are building those in subject nations as well. Okay. Some infrastructure there that we don't necessarily care about. Land forts, fuel refineries, yeah. That's all fairly low priority stuff. And then there's these air bases. Here's more radar. Excellent. Let's get this radar up. There we go. I think air bases are likely to be our next priority beyond the radar. And then naval bases beyond that, most likely. Additional radar there. Any other radar in here? Yes. Fantastic. And here's some more radar. Anything else? Nope, that's good. Okay, so now we'll go up to the top here. There's all that radar, but we don't actually want the radar to be the top priority. We just wanted to move it up above the land forts. So this one doesn't matter, but everything else here does. That's not what I wanted to do. We need to go to this side. There we go. Anti-air and factory conversions. There we go. And then it'll work on the radar afterwards. Like that. Excellent. So radar is next. And that will be absolutely wonderful. We'll get that going, and then after that, as I said, will be the air bases, I think, followed by naval bases to make sure our supply is solid. And then we will work on our land forts from there. Well, maybe our coastal forts first, but we'll work on our various forts. So there's 8 divisions. Now, I'm going to deselect these down to 3 divisions because that finishes off this army. We'll move them on over to here for now. And then these 9, they all go into this force, which requires a grand total of 44. So we need 34 additional divisions in this army. We need 53 divisions in this army, and we need, let's see here, 61 divisions? Yeah, 61 divisions in this army. Okay. That's going to be a while yet, but at the pace we're recruiting, it'll be fine. So here's an additional division. We'll pop that in over here. And at a certain point, there's only so many of these we're going to need, right? Yeah. There's only a certain number of these we're going to need for now. We'll need more once we conquer Turkey. But we're making progress on our garrisons, I feel like. So that will be wonderful. And then we need to think about, do we want to launch invasions over here in the near future? If we do, it would only be to have these guys in position to give the Allies additional trouble. That would be the goal. So we'll see if that becomes a thing. But I think attacking these states over here will be the ideal ones to go after. There is a decent chunk of oil here, so here in Iraq, we would probably take the oil there. And then everything else we would puppet around here, because there's no resources. So that'll be fine. And there's additional unassigned divisions. We'll pop them in over here. Excellent. So you can see our manpower is definitely dropping. There's no doubt about that. Our next round will be these guys done on 19 December, so we'll have a little bit of time for our manpower to recover. But not a lot of time. And then once these guys wrap up again, it's going to be tough. Our manpower is definitely going to be fairly drained here, but we're only recruiting this quickly for now. This is a very temporary situation. Excellent. Let's go ahead and do a region-wide industrial integration in Salamanca. Where is that? Ah, right there. Okay, up in Spain. Sounds good. So there we are going to, once again, build a civilian factory. Now that's probably going to be the final civilian factory that we're going to build for right now, because we can see that we are definitely going to drop below our number of military factories. Actually, I'm going to cancel this. And we're going to queue this up as a military factory. Excellent. Technically, we shouldn't do that. Technically, what we should do here is we should queue it as a civilian factory, and then we should determine how many we need to switch over here, which in reality is 4. We only need to switch 4, so I'm going to cancel, not this one actually, I'm going to cancel some of these. We're going to take these down to be 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Like that. And then we'll cancel these 2 conversions. So in theory, that will put us at the exact number of military factories that we need. Hopefully that'll be the case. And we'll get these air defenses finished up. I want to make sure that we got Korea. Yeah, we did. Yeah, just wanted to double check that one. Excellent. So our state anti-air will be done very shortly, and we'll get all this radar done eventually. That'll take some time, but radar builds fairly quickly as well, and we're building a lot of things simultaneously. Keep in mind, we currently have 464 civilian factories. We have over twice as many civilian factories as we have military factories at this time. And once we get close to getting all of this constructed, we are going to want to start switching some of those back. Although I think that we will be still heavily limited by our resources. So the question becomes, at what point do we do that? Or do we just trade for the resources that we need and try to balance it that way? I think that would probably be the better way to do it. That said, we're at 8K convoys. How many convoys are we building? We probably don't need this many convoys. I'm not going to have the convoys be prioritized above these heavy ship hulls. We're going to do something like that. We're also lacking in a few naval dockyards here. So that's something to think about as well. Okay. Well, how long on our Turkey CB here? Still 75 days. I think it's clear we're not going to be able to invade this episode, sadly. Very, very sadly. Lots of paramilitary training available here. Looks like we can no longer develop the oil fields over here. That's okay. We have 226 oil coming in over here. That's a ludicrous amount of oil. And we're going to get more from Iraq soon enough. We'll be able to develop these oil fields, I believe, as well. And we'll get more from Turkey. Like, I don't think oil is a concern for us at this point. I think we have plenty of oil coming in. Like, we're gaining 32.5k oil per day right now. And the vast majority of that, 26.6k from 292. So yeah, the vast majority of that is coming from Saudi Arabia here. If we can diversify that and get some from Iraq as well, I mean, it's still in the same region, which is slightly problematic. We do have our own oil refineries in Brazil, so that's something to think about as well. But let's just get these constructions worked on and get these trainings done. We need to get all of our garrison units ready to go in case the Allies do decide to attack us, or we decide to attack the Allies. That would be another thing to think about. However, it is currently 1 November 1967. The election is still this month, so it hasn't happened yet. The UK is now 67% fascist. This is just something they're naturally doing. How's our spy network doing over here? We're capped at 50. Let's get in there. Okay. Fantastic. We have free military factories. We do need to convert one, actually. So we'll get one more converting over. There we go. That should solve that problem. I believe we got that factory from a client state. Okay, Argentine Republic, how you doing? They haven't had their election yet. It's a plurality. I don't know how that's going to go, though. It's the UK that we really want to make sure. Like I said, our contingency, if they don't go fascist here, is to do a coup. That's our plan. I don't know when this actually happens in the month. It might be at the end of the month? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that election plays out. As far as Turkey goes, we are going to be declaring on them soon enough. They do grant military access. British Empire. It happened. It happened. Okay. So they wouldn't currently accept our invitation to the faction. Mostly because they're a major nation. However, did they... I don't see the allies here. They're still in the allies faction. They're the faction leader. Yeah, they're already in a faction. So we haven't really seen fallout from this yet. But I am expecting that there will be some nations that are not going to be okay with this. Luxembourg joined allies. Oh, hold on. Hold on. There's a lot happening right now. Luxembourg joined the allies. They are fascist. Okay. I didn't even notice them. India has declared independence. The Indian government today announced that they will unilaterally be breaking ties with the British government. They cite their inability to reconcile their political views with the present political developments occurring in the British Empire as the primary reason for this. The empire is in crisis. The dawn of the American Union. So the US is making their own faction. Russian Federation, Republican Italy, Philippines, and one other. So they're making this because the Allies are falling apart, presumably. Okay. India is, I feel like, very likely to join the American Union. We're just going to keep watching this for the time being. The North Sea Empire joined the Allies. That's rude. How did they manage to get them to do that? When they were always at 0 reasons for us. Awkward. Well, the British Empire is much less likely to be angry at us now. So there are now 2 fascist unions here. There's the Allies and Integrated Brazil. Interesting. Would Turkey join the American Union? Ooh, look at all these people leaving the Allies. It's happening. So much lag. Something is going on here. People are joining the American Union. The Allies are just... Hang on, are they just recoloring? The British Empire declared war on the Republic of Iran. Are they kicking people out of the Allies? They're doing something. Interesting. Interesting. Well, this is definitely useful for us. I do wish that the Russian Federation didn't stick with the American Union. State of Japan did not join the American Union. But they likely would if we attacked them. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, things are going to get interesting. You can leave your offerings to the I was going to say the amazing gods, but the engagement gods are the ones I'm going for. I'm not going to claim that they're amazing. You can... This is happening, and this is amazing, but they are not amazing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time.